what would you call this, Gonk? A few days ago, I made this little Gonk, that one there, Christmas tree ornament, and I made a short about the process. It was about 40 seconds, but I thought it would be better to do a full video on how I carved it, basically. This is the first time I've ever carved anything like that. Usually I'm doing like the little bowl or Christmas tree one. So yeah, this is the first time I've done anything which is like got a face, apart from this weird face thing that I did before, which didn't turn out too well. Anyway, started off with a bit of firewood that I got from my dad, and I thought a gonk would be a good idea because the only really facial feature it's got is the nose. So as long as you get the nose out first, you're golden. And I've left a bit of the bark on his nose. Just, I thought it looked cool. So we started off with the little blank or branch of wood, and I marked out where the nose was going to be and roughly where the brim of the hat was. That changed later because I wanted it to be like just like pushed up because of his nose. Could be a bit better than that, but it's not bad for a first try. After marking it out, I used like a wee gouge to try and get some depth in the wood there, and wasn't really sure how I was going to do the rest of it at that point. But I pushed or carved out a bunch of the wood around the nose, and then made it sort of recessed. Well, in fact, before I did any of that, I axed away the hat because, well, what I've learned from the carving I've done so far is that carving this sort of triangle shape is far easier with an axe. So yeah, I used the axe instead to do that rather than killing my hand with a knife trying to push all that wood off. And also, well, some people have commented that my knife's not sharp enough, so I need to practice how to sharpen it. Anyway, yeah, got the hat sorted and the nose, and then worked on the brim of the hat. Once I'd sort of marked out the brim of the hat, it took a few goes really. I had to keep going back and coming round and going a bit deeper to make it a bit more prominent. At the start, it was still all covered in bark around here as well. There's still some wee bits of bark there. So I got rid of all that bark, and then I was left with the rest of this to get the beard in and the moustache. I did the moustache first, and then just carried on doing the beard, and then later on I realised I couldn't really do it like that because it was all sort of blending into one, so I needed to put some lines in here to make it a bit more defined, that this top part is the moustache and that's the beard. It does still kind of look like a hairy chest rather than a moustache, so I probably need to work on my moustache skills a wee bit. The whole time I was sort of wondering how I was going to get the arms. I was using this picture to figure out where I was going with it, because we do have a gonk somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, the arms, I sort of worked them in at the side here whilst I was doing the back. Just sort of carved a bit deeper to make them stick out. And when they were sticking out, went in a wee bit deeper to sort of define them as cylindrical. And then I kept going with that, and when I got to the end, I thought it looked a bit weird, so I put these little cuffs in as if that was his jumper or his hoodie or whatever gonks wear, and then carved little round his little hand bits on the end into rounds, kind of like a kid's drawing of a person. Then they ended up looking like pigtails, which is fine. And no one says gonks can't have pigtails. I think it probably looks cooler with pigtails, actually. Well, it was too late to do anything about it then anyway, so I just left it. And I was wondering, should I paint it maybe I was going to paint the hat red or white or something. And someone had mentioned in the comments when I posted the short, I should have burnt the beard and the moustache a wee bit with a blowtorch to make it have a bit of colour. And that's not a bad idea as well, actually. The only bit of colour that's on it is that bark from the nose. And then I was going to put like some detail into the brim of the hat to make it look, well, not fluffy, because that would be hard to do, but something. But I never done any of that. I just varnished it, and then I hung it up to dry for a night, and it's still a bit tacky actually, but I'm not sure why that is. Anyway, that's the Gonk, and then I burnt my name in the bottom of it with a chisel that I'd got from Temu. I heated it up on a blowtorch and burnt my name into the bottom of it and the year that I made it on. And the eagle-eyed folk around here will see that I did my 2 backwards, which I've not done since I was in about primary 3. So I don't know what happened there. Anyway, it's got my name on the bottom of it now, which needs a bit more varnish actually. It's a bit dirty somehow. So if you've seen the short, this was just a little video to give you a bit more context or a bit more detail on how I did the Gonk. Hopefully it's helpful. And if you're going to make a Gonk, let me know in the comments. You don't need to buy anything fancy for this. 1 knife is all it takes. I never used anything fancy. I did tried with some V-tool that I got off Temu. It was junk. All of this was just done with, well, 2 knives, but you could do it with 1 knife. I was only using 2 because I had them, or maybe 2 or 3, but it could all be done with just 1 simple carving knife. What else is there to say about the Gonk, really? If you can think of a name for him, stick it in the comments, because he needs a name, and I would like to have someone suggest that. Either that or it will be my children that name him, and they've not come up with a name for him yet. So it's up to you, YouTube or TikTok. Can you think of a name for this? We've got another Gonk. He's called another one, an outside Gonk, a big one. He's called Gary. So what would you call this Gonk? Anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know what he should be called, and let me know if you found this video useful. And I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for watching the shorts.